This is Concrete TV. Concrete TV.
Concrete Magazine, 10 years. Who would have thought a tiny little hip-hop, pocket-sized hip-hop magazine could stick around Nashville for 10 years, but persistence pays dividends. So here we are.
It's about to get crazy. Have Nots Music Group, what it do? It's Young Buck. And I'm strapped, bitch. You know. Throw your hood up if you strapped, boy. Throw your hood up if you strapped, bitch. Throw your hood up if you strapped, boy. Okay. I'm right here like fuck them other niggas. If they ain't strapped, then I ain't fucking with them. I walk in the club and I look around, I see yeah, real shit is about to go down, cause everybody's strapped, nigga. All my niggas got cases, bodies under they Louis belts. We like white girl, we racist. Had 10 bricks, but just 2 left. We got tattoos on our faces, got pounds.
I don't think prison affected my work ethic. I think prison encouraged my work ethic, and it also it gave me time to dissect my work ethic. You know, in prison, I didn't. Doing time, a lot of guys do their time a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? And for me, you know, the blessing of me doing time was that, you know, I knew that I was coming home. You know, I was in the penitentiary with a lot of guys that just, you know, their paperwork said deceased, meaning that they'll never see the streets again in their life. So, you know, seeing that and being amongst those individuals that'll never come home, and you wouldn't know, you know, just because they had a life sentence didn't mean that they were down on the rest of their life. You know, it made me realize that, you know what I'm saying, this little time that I have, let me make the best of it. So therefore, when I do get back out here and get back to my career, you know, I can give the people what they expect from me. And that's what I did. You know, I done a lot of reading, read a lot of books. I got my GED in prison. You know, I dropped out of school in the 9th grade, 8th grade. You know, so for me, that accomplishment was a good accomplishment. They wanted to take my picture. I said, nah, no pictures. The warden said, no, man, we just want to have you. But I said, no, man, I don't want this memory for nobody. You ought to be happy you got it. You know what I'm saying? You know what, honestly, maybe twice, honestly. You know, it was just hard for me to find the motivation, you know what I'm saying, in prison. I had so many things going on the outside world, you know, maintaining the things that I did have in prison also was a struggle for me. And, you know, just outside of surviving in prison, you know, the good thing that I did do in prison as far as that kept me in touch musically was I was able to encourage the guards to allow me to throw a concert within the prison. And it took some time, you know what I'm saying, but once they realized that, you know, it was real talent in the prison, you know, I had a few good guards that were willing to stand up and say, you know what, let's give this a try. And it was, you know, it was a success, you know. And that's something that, you know, for me, means everything. You know, to like I say, to be amongst guys that'll never see the streets again, to guys amongst guys 20 and 30 years of their life, you know, just to see them smile for that moment and just to feel that feeling of being outside of that gate. was a good feeling. And you know, I was able to throw concerts in prison. And what we would do, we would take the outside prison yard. We would take the basketball court, and the guards would bring out, you know, big speakers, the microphones, the whole nine. We have a prison all-star basketball game, halftime, you know, performing. There was a lot of talent in prison. So I would have, you know, 20, 30 different guys that were able to perform a record or two, you know. And what happened was, you know, here it is, the whole entire prison yard was filled up from every race, Mexican, black, white, no matter what. You know, but everybody's there to watch the concert. And, you know, I was able to go through prison without having one incident and actually holding at least 5 to 6 concerts. You know, I'm a prison legend, man, and it's crazy. You know, my time was small, but I left a big mark in prison, and I learned a lot. You know, I was educated by a lot of older guys that, you know, see me back there in prison, but at the same time was able to see me and my career on TV, so it wasn't exciting for them to see me back there. So instead of them, you know, feeding me the oh shit, it's Young Buck shit, it was like, nah, young nigga, you finna sit down and get your mind right. What the fuck is you doing? You tripping. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with more of that than the Young Buck cool shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, what the fuck you doing here shit? And a lot of dudes that I grew up with, you know, as far as in the streets, you know, the next time I seen them was in prison. You know, 20 and 30 years of being gone from out here in these Cashville streets, and the next time I see them, they in prison. I was a child, now I'm a grown man. They were grown men, now they're old men. You understand? So life is real, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the type of cat where, you know, I take nothing for granted, but I do also take things as learning lessons. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I've been through, I feel like, you know, God got something there for me. So that's what I'm fighting to get to. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting to get to what God got for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fighting for the money or none of that. Money just happened to come along with what God got for me too. Shout out to Traps and Trunks. You know, those guys always been supportive of you know, myself, my company, Cashville Records, and just other artists, period. They've been doing their thing, so, you know, big shout out to them. This Traps and Trunks record right here, you know, I really wanted to give them more, and I'm gonna be honest with it, you know, but the records that they do have are complete bangers. If you ain't heard it, make sure you get that. You know, those records were basically records that, coming out of prison, I immediately went in the studio and started working. And I feel like, you know, at this point, you know, with me making my move back with G-Unit, you know, it's important for me to maintain my presence in the streets as I always have, as I, you know, done prior to being with those guys and being back with my brothers, to be honest. So, you know, my thing is about feeding the streets as much as I can and as much as possible. And Traps and Trunks has always been that outlet. And those records, like I say, they some good street records. You can look forward to a visual, I know, from one of the records for sure. And, you know, I'm just pushing, man, but none of those records I consider singles. You know, those are strictly for the streets, strictly for the trap, strictly for the trunk. It's been a while since I dropped a solo record. But one thing I want to keep on everybody's mind is especially my hometown, Cashville, because without my city, I'm nothing. And that's what I try to encourage to a lot of the local artists out here, you know, as far as getting on. As harsh as it may feel and as harsh as it may be, you're nothing without your city behind you. And people say, well, damn, bro, if you can make it in Cashville, you can make it everywhere, man. The people don't support local artists, so don't nobody stick together. Shit, that's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? You know, support yourself. You know, because ain't nobody gonna support nobody who ain't supporting their damn self. I hear that a lot. Man, there ain't no support around here. How much support are you giving yourself, homie? You know, so my thing is support yourself first before you look for anybody to support you. But it's important for you to have the city behind everything that you do, because what that allows is the presence to people who may not know who you are or who may learn who you are as an artist. They also get to learn where you from and what you're about. So everything that I've done from the very beginning, I've always brought Cashville with me. You understand? Nashville and Cashville, yeah, it's the same place, but it's two separate things. Nashville, to me, is catered more to the country side of things, the country music, the foundation of Nashville, Tennessee. That's what, you know, we're known for, and we salute that. You understand? With the utmost respect, because also country music is the highest paid music business in the building. So we got the money right here in Cashville. But I feel also that Nashville has been so oversaturated with country music that we become overshadowed, and it's hard to be accepted from any other genre of music. And that's why when I had the opportunity to go outside of my city and work with other cats that were already established in the rap business, I said, I got to represent where I'm from. But when I'm amongst all these cats that's from these major cities, and then I'm from Nashville, it's like I get this cold eye, and I'm like, look, man, my city ain't no different than yours. It might be harder. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, you know, at the end of the day, what I want to do is put a twist to it. I came up with the Cashville thing, and I said, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to call this Cashville, because I couldn't get out there and say, well, South Side, East Side, West Side, North Side. I could, but I done lived on every fucking side of town in Cashville, Tennessee. Every side of it. East, West, North, South. There's not a side in Nashville, Tennessee where I haven't called home. Physically, literally, period. So I had to think of something to represent us as one, too. And that's where Cashville comes in, and everything I've done, I've always brought that with me. Speaking on that, my first record was straight out of Cashville, solo record. And that record right there was the groundbreaking record, not only for me, but for the city. You understand? And it was like, you know, Nashville, we've been in a bubble for so long. It's been going down here. It's been live. We've been getting money. We've been everything that any major city has to offer. We've been doing it right here. And to be perfectly honest, we got a little bit more than a lot of these cities. But we've been in the bubble. So I was one of the first cats to make it out of that bubble. And Straight Outta Cashville was one of those first projects to make it out of the bubble from a worldwide perspective. We've always had a lot of local artists that's always had names such as Pistol, Cool Daddy Fresh back in the G, that all these guys that, you know, put the city on the map. But Straight Outta Cashville was one of the first successful worldwide albums, and it put me on as a worldwide artist, also my city. And, you know, from there, I got to Buck the World. And with that album, you know, I'm comfortable with every project, both projects that I've put out, solo records. You know, I do feel that Buck the World could have had a little bit more promotion, but hey, it's platinum. What complaining can I do? At the same time, I've only put out 2 solo albums, so people get lost into Young Buck as an artist and all of the things that goes on and been going on with me in my life, because I choose to put my real life in the middle of the music. And I've had so many trials and tribulations throughout my life that you sometimes can forget that I've only put out 2 solo projects. And through the grace of God, both of them is platinum and past platinum. You know, I'm excited about where my career is going. You can look forward to another solo project, but before we get to another Young Buck solo project, definitely look forward to a G-Unit album. I had made a record. It was a remix of the Soulja Boy record, the Yaz Bitch Yaz record that he had. And I had made a reference at the end of the record. I had said, somebody better call 50 and tell him you need a reunion. You know, speaking on that. And honestly, I just honestly think that the timing was right. The fans, the people has been wanting it. It's been years. I've been through a lot. 50's been through a lot. And we just looked at it as if, you know what? It is what it is. Let's bury that shit. And if it's room to move forward, let's move forward. We always been brothers. I think our situation was made a little bit bigger than it actually was. But hey, that's in the past. You know, we don't speak on it and give information and go into detail about what happened and how it happened. It's something that came and went, and we're never looking for it to happen again. I think we all, when I say all, I mean Bank GAO, 50, and myself, as well as Kid, we just excited at this point to being together, and it's showing through the music. You know, we got hit records, you know, and we just excited about being amongst each other and finally putting the bullshit aside and moving forward with our career, man. So, you know, for me, I feel like, as I always have, you know, 50's always held that big brother title. And just because we had, you know, our differences doesn't mean 50's still not the fucking big brother. If he was the big brother then, he's the big brother now. You know what I'm saying? You may fight with your big brother, but that don't mean he stops being your big brother. You understand? You made me tough. 50 know I'ma do what I wanna do. Go ask him. And guess what he gonna tell you? Yo, Buck is impulsive. Buck is gonna do what the fuck he wanna do. He know I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I wanna do. And that's the understanding that we have. But I also know 50's gonna do whatever the fuck he wanna do too. And say whatever the fuck he wanna say. You know. I'm just a little bit more controlling, you know, with what I do and what I say. 50, he don't give a fuck. Man, honestly, man, the album is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, man. And I'm not saying that just because, oh, I'm back amongst my brothers and I'm trying to sell a project to the people. No, I'm saying this is because you rappers cannot fuck with us. And I have to say that because a lot of these weak ass rappers and a lot of these cats that's in position and winning, they have no respect for their elders. You know, we done brought up a lot of cats, and a lot of cats has came up, you know, watching G-Unit, being fans of G-Unit, and once they got in position, whether they choose to express that, or whether they just said fuck us or whatever it may be, a lot of the respect I feel it's just not been there. And I feel like the best payback is success. So we don't have to physically fuck over these dudes as we once done. And we will do if it ever have to get to that point. But what we can do is kill these dudes, you know, with the music. And that's something that God gave us that you know, can't nobody take from us. It's the talent that we have and the sound that we come up with. That G-Unit sound collectively is just, it's crazy. So you can expect a lot of energy. You know, there's a lot of storytelling records as far as the G-Unit album. Before we get to the G-Unit album, in the next 3 to 4 weeks from this interview, you understand, you can be expecting a G-Unit mixtape. After the G-Unit album, Cashville, here we come. the Young Buck solo. I have my own label, Cashville Records. Like I say, Concrete Magazine has been supportive of me as an artist from day one. And from day one, I've always brought my vision of what I wanted to do with a label, which started with G Unit South Records. G Unit South is basically Cashville Records, went from G Unit South to Cashville Records. You understand? Cashville Records is where it stands at right now with me. And my artist right now is Paper Chase, The City Paper, my cat Ruckus, you know what I'm saying, which is doing a lot of moving out there right now. Shout out to Ruckus 100. Man, D-Strap, I got a good roster, and I also got a situation in the works with them as far as distribution. And I'm gonna be releasing music with my artists, you know, in between time. You know, keeping the streets fed with everything that I got going. So, you know, Cashville, we've been through it. I just want to, you know, shout out all my fans, shout out my city, you know, from the top to the bottom, you know what I'm saying, for just being down with me. I've been through a lot. You know, a lot of people have a lot of different things to say about Young Buck. The truth is I am who I am, you understand? And one thing I am is I'm a resident of this city, and I represent this city in a real way, man. Cashville, man, and I've been doing it, and we back to take what's ours. They ask me, yo, Buck, why you still stay in the Ville? Why you still stay in the Ville? You got too much money. You got too much money to stay in the Ville. You just don't get it. You're just a big fish in a small pond. I'd be like, look, let me tell you something. I can go live anywhere. And being honest, I got plans on buying houses here, there, but it's plans on just buying houses here and there. This is my home. I feel fortunate enough to be an artist, a worldwide artist, to sell millions and millions of records, and to be blessed enough to be able to walk amongst my community, amongst these people in my city, and be accepted and loved without having to hide behind a security guard. You might ride past Buck in traffic. You might see Buck in a grocery store. You might see Buck walk by you in the mall. I do that for a reason, because I want home to accept me, because I accepted home, so accept me. I live that life everywhere else because I have to. But I make home because I want to be how I am at home. So when you say, oh, you make yourself too accessible, thank you. You know, I've been wanting to let y'all know that. I've been hearing a lot of that. Yo, you too accessible. We see. Thank you. That means I'm doing a damn good job. Because I want you to see me, man. I'm approachable. I want you to say, what up, Buck? I want to be able to say, what up, homie? I want you to be like, man, yo, bro, that verse, you killed that shit. I'll be like, good look. I want you to say, hey, man, you can tighten up on your shit, bro. You slipping. I need that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm that type of dude that I'm a rare breed. Just respect what you got while you got it, not when it's gone. Young Buck, 100. I caught the Tupac Biggie era. I ain't gonna lie. You know, when I say I caught that era, meaning I was of age where I started to understand music. You know, I was listening and heard everything. But around the era of when Tupac was going into his peak was when I was at the age of where I was starting to understand what was really the streets was really going on, what was about was. So he was the artist that was leading me. You know what I'm saying? As I'm the artist that's leading a lot of youngsters these days. Pac was the one that led me. You know, the Biggies, you know, Scarface. Scarface is, and Tupac are basically my biggest artists, my favorite, or whatever you may consider. And I done had a blessing to be amongst Scarface. You understand? And to me, that's the big OG in my life. You understand? I'm from the South. That's who, as a Southern artist, that's who I definitely looked upon to as our voice. You understand? As far as the South, the Bun B's and Pimp C's, I was blessed to be able to be a young dude to come up amongst these dudes and do like that with these cats. So my upbringing is different. You understand? I was brought up amongst a lot of the real niggas in the music. And that shit rubbed off on me. So you are what you surrounded around. By far, I was blessed to be surrounded by real when I had no control or no knowledge of what the streets had to offer, and that's the blessing for me because I was able to receive the real. Receiving the real made me be able to give the real because that's all I know. You understand? And that's what makes Young Buck different from a lot of the artists. You know, outside of the energy, I'm a real energetic type of cat, you know, and that stands out in itself, you know, vocally, the way I say things, my slang, you know, and being amongst a group of cats that's basically from, you know, one coast, and that slang kind of sounds the same, and then I come from here, kind of makes me stand out too. But my personality, you know, I'm a people's person. You know, I don't give a fuck type of dude. I'm a real individual when it comes from being from the streets and being truthful about who he is, what he comes from, what he's living, and people connect with that with me. And I feel like fuck you if you tell me anything different because this is what done work for me. I don't know to be this person or be that person. I can't do that. I gotta be Buck. And that's what done work for me. You understand? And that's what I try to tell individuals, period. Be who you are. And if a person can't accept that, it is what it is. I got a lot of cats as far as the music. They be like, yo man, do you like this? And they like, you know, play your records and shit. I be like, yeah, this shit bomb. I be like, do you like it? They was like, it's cool, I just want, if you like it, I like it. And I say, if I like it, you like it? I'm like, nah, you fucked up. What you mean? Well, if I like it, because I like it makes you like it, don't mean you making your own decision about your own product. You make your decision. I'll make my decision. But your decision is the ultimate decision. You gotta be comfortable with everything you do as far as making music, because the minute that you turn this damn camera on, or you turn this motherfucking microphone on, I got to be this motherfucker to explain this motherfucking record, or I gotta be the motherfucker to rap this shit. So I'm gonna be totally fucking comfortable with rapping this shit or being in front of this motherfucker. And the only way to do it is by being yourself. Cause I ain't got time to be trying to keep up with identity or who I was yesterday and all that old shit. No, motherfucker, who you see is what you get. So that's what makes Young Buck, and that's what makes me stand out. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no image or no shit to hide or nothing, none of that shit. I'm just a street nigga that's been blessed with a talent, blessed to come from a ghetto environment, a poor environment, blessed to come from that and had an opportunity to pull and help other individuals that's in that same environment come out and also do what I love and make a living from it and provide a life for my children. You can't tell me shit. You can't tell me shit. I'm gonna rap it till I'm fucking on a fucking, a cane. Please be like, man, yo, man, I'm about to be 40 or 50. Nigga, I'm gonna be 70 or 80, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I tell you niggas, look, I plan on being 70 or 80 years old with a motherfucking microphone. Straight up. I don't give a fuck if I have to, hold on, let me put my ditches and shit in. Whatever the fuck it may take. I love the music. Well, honestly, sitting in prison, man, you think of a lot of shit, you know. All you got is time. So for me in prison, I was thinking of a lot of different things that I wanted to do outside of the music. I've always wanted to use music as a stepping stone to get off into other things and other talents that I feel like I have, such as the movies, such as the fashion, the t-shirt business, clothing business, period. I'm also off into cars, into rims. I like designing things, you know what I'm saying? Jewelry, things of that nature. I just like to design different things. So, you know, in prison I spent a lot of time educating myself on, you know, different things involved in the clothing industry. Different cost of different materials, what it costs to make this and what it costs to make that, you know what I'm saying? And I realized that, you know, the generation that's out there now is more of a t-shirt generation to me. That's what I feel. You know, it's easy to see. Look at me now, regular white t-shirt. I mean, y'all don't see him, but my guy behind the camera, he's in all black t-shirt. You understand what I'm saying? It's a t-shirt. It's nothing to throw a pair of jeans on and a cool t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I felt like, you know, I wanted to come up with a line that represent who I am, the aura of what I come from, as well as something that's catchy and something that can still have meaning to it, you know. And I came up with Dope Boy. You understand? I came up with Dope Boy University. And when you first hear Dope Boy University, the first thing you come up with behind the word, I think, dope, is you think of something illegal in a sense. Dope Boy in a sense is, you know, a lot of times people look at it and get that word immediately, sets it right beside, you know, the drug dealer. And for me, the Dope Boy University, I looked at it as if, you know, dope is not a word that's expressed only for illegal uses. You know, you may see something that you like and say, yo, that's a dope ass shirt. Oh man, damn, that was a dope ass dunk Michael Jordan just did. Yo, did you just hear that speech Obama just gave? That was dope, man. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever is just the way it is. So I put Dope Boy University in front of it, meaning that whatever it is, you know, far as a man, boy, whatever it may be, you know, male-wise, you know, you're dope. You know what I'm saying? In the university, this is a university full of dope boys. We dope at what we do. You understand? Whatever it may be, I'm a dope boy. You understand what I'm saying? I'm dope, boy. Well, whatever I do, period. If it's in the street, I'm dope. And, you know, it's done very, very well in the small amount of time that I've had. You know, my t-shirt line out there, I've been blessed with. Shout out to City Gear. City Gear is one of the first chain stores to actually reach out and give me a shot at going into their store. And I'm actually doing very well inside of their store. Shout out to all the other chain stores. My arms are open at this point. You understand? Hey, it is what it is. It's about a business and it's about expanding. And at this point, my clothing line is growing. And I think we're at a place now where it's time to expand. So I know a lot of clothing chains out there is like, hey man, City Gear is making all the money exclusively. Well, you get to hear it here first on Concrete Magazine. Come on, I'm opening the door now. Dope Boy University is coming to a hood near you. Man, if I could go back in time, some advice I would give myself would be, you know, to be more focused on the business side. You know, my career happened so fast, and the age that I was at the time, and the things that I was involved in the streets allowed me to pay more attention to the situation versus to pay more attention to the opportunity than the business. I was so thankful, and even to this day, I'm forever thankful, you know, just for the opportunity to come from where I come from, just the opportunity, just to have the opportunity to give the people what I do. I was so thankful for the opportunity that I think I didn't give the business as much attention as I gave the opportunity. And you know, this is a business. It's a lot of business. It's 90% business, 10% talent. So, you know, a lot of things, I feel like if I was more on my business, I could have made happen. But the good thing about all those, that is that I'm blessed with a second chance. And I know that. And I'm also aware that there's a lot of artists that me and you, and the people watching this, can name, just came and went. It's irrelevant today. Shit that I done been through, and for me to be here right now and be a factor in this game, and still getting money, I'm strong. You understand? You know, that lets me know I'm what these people want. So I'm taking more advantage of the business and taking more advantage of the opportunity. I'm taking more advantage of both of them. I just felt like, you know, I took more advantage of the opportunity in the business then. And, you know, you go through things when that happens. And, you know, if I could tell anybody anything for us, you know, shit that can help you in this music shit. And I'm done after this. We finished with the interview. The only thing I can tell you, honestly, will be what I've always told you. Pray. Push. Pray until something happens. Keep pushing. Because no matter if I sit here and say, well, do this and do that, the ultimate thing that helped me throughout everything was through prayer. My connection with the man upstairs has helped me win all the battles. So even when my enemy feel like he's fighting me, he's not fighting me. He's fighting the man upstairs, and he's fighting to lose a battle because I'm so connected with him that, you know, so I just tell people, you know, whatever your power is, make sure you have that connection there. Everything else gonna fall in place. It gets off course and off track and all that, but that's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. And I appreciate it now. You know, I take the struggle with honor. You understand? You see a lot of motherfuckers that be like, man, I ain't got no money now. I could be broke, man, and be cool. Kicking it with you like a motherfucker. It's because at the end of the day, it's all a part of the plan. See, I could be down today, but rich tomorrow. You understand? So why am I gonna adjust and change? Why am I gonna let this dead motherfucking man that's on this piece of paper adjust this inside of here? And no, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? He's dead. The man that's on this piece of paper that we call money, he's dead. So they can't even put my face on here to get him a chance to adjust his to me. I'm not adjusting mine to you.
This is Concrete TV. Concrete TV.